Hello and welcome to today's Material Musings. I'm going to keep it fairly brief today because there's so many things happening. I want to give you guys a chance to get on with some of the projects and the lessons that are on the various classes and the various retreats, online retreats. We've got Mixed Media Art Expo, and that's on until the 14th, and then you've got Art of Expression, which starts on the 19th, and I'll leave all the links in the description below. And yeah, I wanted to really just kind of address the feelings of overwhelm that can sometimes get to you when you have all of these choices of things to do and you're not sure what to do first. And it really is to kind of take a step back and see what's speaking to you. Join these classes because there's so much great information, techniques and things that are coming from all of these teachers. And even if you don't decide to get a VIP, you know, I mean, it's not you there's so many, you can't necessarily get the VIPs for everything, but you can pick and choose and see which ones are really speaking to you. And then if you think, oh, I really want to do that particular lesson again, or there's so many I didn't get to finish, then maybe consider it. But first of all, think about what's speaking to you. For me, I had a lot of projects, I'm looking at some at the moment, that were sitting on my desk that I wanted to address. Some that I hadn't finished, in the process of finishing. Some that I had, you know, just experimented with, and really kind of just show you my next steps. So I was feeling slightly overwhelmed because I just want to do everything, and obviously there's only a certain amount of time in the day, and I find that sometimes when I'm met with all of these options, I just kind of stop. It's like a deer in headlights, and it's just like, I don't know what to do next, oh my gosh. And then I retreat, so I haven't spent much time in my creative space. I've been doing some things that are creative, but not in this space, which really does feed me. And so I had to say to myself, well, what have you got in front of you, and what is it you really want to look at? And we'll start with this. So this is a piece over time that I've been working on, and it's nearly finished. I've done the outside, so it does need a backing, which I will be doing. But what I'm working on now is filling these spaces here. Should we come in? Ooh, that was really quick. So filling those spaces with the purple thread. And then my hand started to hurt me, and then it was just like, where's your wrist support? I need a kind of palm support maybe. But it's getting to where I want it, and it's feeling like I want it, and I don't particularly want to rush it. So it was just like, okay, again, this is something you thought you would finish, but as you've been moving on, you've been seeing other things which you enjoyed doing. Like I had initially done the white stitching, and then I thought I wanted to go over it with the yellow, and I actually like that effect. It reminds me of the ocean. That's what this bit, the colours, the blues. Anyway, so as you can see, yeah, so there's bits, small bits that need doing, like her cheek on that side to be filled, just here, just little bits, and then these little bits, and then I might go in here, who knows. Anyway, but you know, this is a piece that I don't particularly want to rush. I want to take my time. I want to see how I feel as I go along. And there are other things, you know, I'm not working on this consistently, but when I can, when I'm feeling, oh, I feel like doing some detailed work, I can come in and work on this. And one of the easiest jobs is, okay, let's start looking at fabric for the backing and then see how it will sit. But that was this one, so I thought I would show you the progress that I've made, and this was one of my figures that I created. I've got some digital art stamps with this figure, and I've still got the art foamings, which I've been using as well, but I'll show you that another time. Okay, so that was this one. The next one was, I'm not sure whether I showed you this. I think I might have talked about it. And this was a workshop that I went to, and it was some weavers from Colombia, and I'll put their details here. And they showed us how to layer and create these little images, and this just represents my love of plants. So I haven't done anything since this, but then I was thinking, you've got lots of fabric pieces, look at this whole bag full of stuff that you can then think about, you know, well, what scenes, what small scenes can you make? And they could be just, or just, you know, bring fabric together, stitch them. This is painted, and so I could just, you know, stitch them, and you have them ready for when you might need a piece, and it's just like, oh, okay, this works perfectly. In the same way, I had small bits of leather that I had worked on. Oh, ooh, do you want to see some? Oh my gosh. Look, this is how it is. You spend time with your supplies and then you're inspired. So I will bring some of the pieces that I've made with the leather, and it's just like this, just even seeing this bit just inspired me. So I had offcuts of leather, and what I can do with this is then, because I've made the holes in there, I can attach it to a piece. Now, it might not make sense now, but as you add pieces to it, you know, it kind of builds layers, and you can then, you know, build something else. So let's go through what we were going to go through, and then we'll end on looking at some of the pieces I've made with the leather. And I hope you're inspired, because just even that has inspired me, and that's what it's about, innit? When you're feeling a particular way and you just need to kind of get back on track, and that has just now sent me back on track. Okay, so with Making Zen Started, this is one of the books I made for, it was 2024 Making Zen, I think it was, and it's just filled with, you know, needles and things that I've tested out. And when I taught, I showed different examples of lettering and how you could fill them. So should we have just a quick look at this? Because there are so many great projects I'm going to start, and there's one that I was thinking about, making the baskets, and I had made some scrap baskets from scrap, and this was done in the Kawandi style, but I made you know, this from it. And she's making the coil baskets, and I thought, yeah, okay, we can start doing that. But here's some of the ones that I've made. And I had to maybe just think about, because I was having issues with my hand, I just had to think about the stitching and the holding, because the holding of the needle, because this is already, and it might have been this that I need to wear, the wrist, the hand support, when I'm going in here, and it's quite a tight space. So it was just like, okay, let's look at an alternative, just like when they do the exercises and they say, okay, here's the advanced, here's the intermediate, and here's the easy. So an easier one for me would be to take a piece of fabric that I'd already had and worked on, and then create a bowl basket, and then when I can actually, you know, not feel any pain just here, you know, it's probably that your hand needs to rest a bit. So you just have to do things that, you know, won't put you under stress. So we'll just have a look through and see what we've got in here. Again, this kind of thing that can inspire you. You know, you look at a project that you'd worked on before and you just flick through it. And I'm thinking about the leather at the moment, and it's just like, ooh, I can't wait to try something. So even some of the offcuts and bits can go in there. So yeah, so here's just some examples of just stitching in there, and here's one of my ones that my art foamy. So that's something that, you know, I'll leave all the links and you can check them out, but I printed on fabric, and this just needs to be stitched in there. Some nice fabric there. And again, you know, how do you experiment? I could take some of the scrap fabric and continue with some of these figures. Yeah. So again, giving you something to feel inspired by, and I really like this. I really do. This was one of the I think it's Fodder Challenge, and Wendy did the hands, and this was one that I did with scrap fabric and then stitched together. I did have a bigger one. I wonder where that one is. Anyway, so that's that. The other thing that I was thinking of was I went and I sometimes buy stencils, but I go to the hardware store, and so I went to the hardware store, oh no, this was the dollar store, and found this, and I thought that this would make a fantastic stencil. And they're placemats, and they had a few of them. So this one is a Christmas placemat. So I bought it and I thought, you know what, I'm going to try it. So that's what we're going to do next. I've got just this fabric here. It's just some cotton, and I thought, let me get some brightly coloured, or I'll see. I can either spray it, but I don't think any of my sprays are working. They've all got clogged up. Or I can just use a brush and stencil it on. So let us have a look. Let me see. I'll see if any of these are working. I haven't used these for a while. They're misters, and that would be ideal. It's not working as it should, so it might not look as good as I'm hoping. Let's have a look at this one. I should have put something down underneath, shouldn't I? Yeah, let's just put this under there. Okay, like that. Yeah, so the misters work, and you can also use a brush. So that one doesn't work. Let's have a look. Yeah. That one wants to work, but it's blocked. I really do need to have a... Ooh. Do you know what I might do? The other thing with this is that I find them very messy. I'm just swapping over the lid. Let's see if that will work. Nope. I'm swapping over the lids. Okay. I've got a couple more. Right, so that's another job that I can look at that needs to be done. Okay, none of them, they're all blocked. So let me just take the one that was working and spritz it on. And then, you know, like with a, what do you call it? Jelly plate. I could take where the spray has landed, I could take either another piece of cloth, which I don't have near me, or I can take a paper and just absorb it up, just wipe it up like so, and then I will have a background paper so it's all soaking through. Don't want to shake it. Maybe even use my, and that will really get it up. There. Yeah. And so even with this, I'm reminded about the need to spend time in your creative space. And so look at that. So a $3 placemat. If I was to buy this in the stencil in a, you know, craft store, you're looking at enough money. Ooh, look at that. Cool. Oh dear. I love it. So I'm just going to let that dry. And now, oh my gosh, from a simple placemat. So I'm going to go back and see what other ones they got. I think they had some really fine ones, because I was looking at, you know, making a mini screen. I'm doing these little, see again, that's all of the different projects you want to do. I might have shared this before, but I'm doing these little diorama kind of boxes where this is like a front room, but I'm thinking of, like, you know, doing some with screens that can open, so it's like a screen door and it opens, that kind of thing. And I've been working on these little planters that it would look like a mini chattel house. So anyway, but there we go. So, you know, that was a nice find. I have bought others which I'll share in a different video and you can see. But these are really economical because they're made of sturdy plastic, because it is, you know, a placemat. But you can get these really wonderful backgrounds for your papers. And I could go over this, you know, do a different colour or whatever it is, you know, you could just experiment and play. So I'm pleased about that. Was there anything else I was going to show you? Yes, I was going to show you the leather. So let us have a look at that, because that is something that I'm now feeling quite excited about, and so glad that I encouraged myself to come in today and look at some of, you know, just keep it simple basically. And then I've got, this is what I showed last time, the earrings. I did actually wear these, they looked really nice. I want to make a necklace, which I had said I was going to do at some point. But one of the things I'm going to do is look through all the lessons that are coming up and see which ones I can kind of do now. And yeah, just feel reconnected. So let's look at the leather. Okay, so I'll show you some ones that are scraps and that I've just experimented with. So what I do is I use a wood burning tool, and it's just like doodling, and I just create patterns using the different tools on the surface of the leather. So I just got a bag of scrap leather and then just started looking through them to see what ones I could work on. And all of these, you know, some of these smaller bits can be, you know, just nice elements in other pieces. And yeah, so I just, these were the smaller scraps that I then went and created some faces on. And I haven't yet decided how I want to use them. It was just like, you know, it's a shape, it's gonna come to you at some point. And yeah, if you've already got something on, the only thing I need to do is add the holes. You probably just need wiping off and putting in a bag that I could seal, because obviously you got some critters, so just wipe them off and you allow them to air dry, and that should be good. But yeah, so these are the again, just experiments that it's just like I haven't decided what I want to do with them. The leather can be painted if I want, but I do like that wood burn effect. Yeah, so that's scraps, as it were. You know, any little piece can be a treasure. And you know, I've definitely found that, you know, there might be a project that it's just like, oh, I need this particular shape, and oh, that's just gone perfect, you know, in terms of whatever it was that I was gonna create. Right, I'll show you a few of the others. I've got a whole load more, a whole container full of them with different notes that I've put to myself. Let's see what this one says. I need to add a backing to these ones. Let's have a look. So this was the backing that I had decided, so I need to attach them, so it needs to be stitched in some way. You want to come in, have a look? Yeah, so you've got the burnt detail. This particular one is a face. I did quite a few faces, so that's one. I haven't decided whether I want them as, like, they could be pendants or they could be, I don't know, attached to a wall hanging. I love them. This one, I'm looking at it and thinking I would like to do a bit more detail on that. But I wanted to incorporate the whole of, like, decorate this in some way. I might need to paint this because it was quite thick and it's hard for the leather, the wood burning tool that I have to really penetrate this one. So yeah, looking at bringing these two together. Well, I'd have to decorate this first and then attach this like so. And they're kind of, you know, it's not meant to be, okay, it's a perfectly shaped piece, but I want the imperfection of the, you know, okay, the lines that could be additions to projects. So I've worked on them more so than I've done the others, so there are a lot more detail on them. But again, nice elements that on their own it's just like a really unusual addition. And then we've got the faces. Yeah, potential additions to projects. That's that one. Then we've got just a few more. Oh, I'll show you this one. This was one I'd added bead into. It's kind of practically there. It's got leather backing. And I was looking at, I've got some, like, what you would, if it was a pendant, what you would use. And I've got these that I can use as for the neck. So that's something I can think about. So that's that one. And then this one was another pendant. Oh, I'll have to make these up even if it's just for myself. It's just like, what are you waiting for, girl? Oh, child. Oh my, I love that. Ooh, I think I will definitely bring this out. And then I've got some really nice larger beads. I could add some beads. This would just be nice as is, as the earrings. I'm going to work on that one. And looking at the leather pieces, so maybe just, I mean, even that can work. Yeah, that can work. So I think we will work on that to bring this to fruition. Yeah, so there we go. So from not feeling like it to finding something that's inspiring you. And, you know, as I say, there's all the lessons that are currently with making Zen and Mixed Media Art Expo, and, you know, all the links are below for you to check them out. And just really think about, well, if you're not feeling inspired, you know, go through what you have, and not with the idea of, okay, this has got to inspire me, I've got to get something from it, but just, you know, go through it, because just finding this was something that made me feel like, okay, yeah, let me revisit these. And now, look, I'm going to be making these. So next week, you're going to see me with these on. That's my challenge, yeah. So I hope that whatever you're working on, that it finds you, it inspires you, and it helps you feel joyful. And you can experiment. Look, bring everything back out. You can experiment with the things that you have, because everything you need you have in your space to make you feel enthusiastic and inspired. So take care for now, and I will see you again.